And welcome back to Dr. Doug's Daily Tips of how to write great LDS church music. How can you make your music have the sense of going home? This warm kind of feeling that you get of feeling like you're at home. That's what we're going to jump into today, looking at I Am a Child of God. We're going to take a little break from the hymns. We did a week's worth of hymns, daily tips from the hymnal. Now we're going to do a week's worth of daily tips from the Primary Children's Songbook, and then we'll go back and forth. Okay, so let's look at, starting at the beginning of the Primary Children's Songbook, I Am a Child of God, page 2. Let's go way to the end. There's a chord in use here at the end that I've highlighted here in red. That is a wonderful chord to give any music you're writing, primary song, ward choir arrangement, flute and piano arrangement, whatever it is, this sense of going home, this feeling of warmth and peace. Okay, so we get this, regular old chorus. So a 1 chord, lead me, guide me, to a 5 chord, and then the 5 chord continues, 1 chord. Now, on the last line, we take the same 1 chord, C major, but we make it dominant by putting that B flat in the tenor. Well, B flat does not fit the key we're in, okay? So by adding that B flat, it gives it this warm sense because the B flat wants to go somewhere. It wants to go down to the 4 chord, and that's a very particular 4 chord. That is a 4 chord in second inversion. That's what the 6/4 means. And all that means is that we have the same bass note as the 1 chord. Okay, so that bass note stays, but the motion from B flat down to A, when also the soprano has the E and the F goes up, the E goes up to F. So that half step motion of E up to F and B flat down to A together give this very warm sense. So it's not enough to just use that chord, the C, E, G, B flat chord alone. It needs to go to an F major chord after. Whenever we get this chord, when you take the 1 chord and you put a dominant 7th on it, a minor 7th on the top, B flat, that resolves to the 4 chord, which is why it's called the 5/7 of 4. Because if we were in the key of the 4, which is F, in the key of F, the 5/7 chord is C, E, G, B flat. Okay, so we're borrowing that from F major and we're implanting it into C major with that B flat, which came from F major. Because of that, it wants to resolve to the F major chord. Okay, so this is a very common way to end a piece if you want it to feel warm. And then we get 5, 5, 7, 1. Okay, a lot of music does this, even way back to Bach's famous prelude in C major. At the very end, he does the same thing. He resolves the 5/7 to 1. But the 1 has a B flat on it, a flat 7, and it goes to F. And I think in the Bach, he takes one more step and goes A flat. But I'd have to double check. I don't remember off the top of my head. However, so the tip for today is a really strong one. It's this: taking the tonic chord, in this case C major, C, E, G, and putting a flatted 7th on it, a minor 7th, which makes the chord dominant, and it wants to resolve a ton to the 4 chord. Okay, that resolution, 5/7 of 4 to 4, or the 1 chord with a flatted 7th on it, going to the 4 chord, gives you this sense of going home, which is why you usually see this chord at the end of a piece. There are instances where it happens earlier, but it's most impactful towards the end, because that's when you think you're arriving at home on the 1 chord, but there's a little change to the 1 chord, the B flat, which warms it up and makes the resolution to the final one chord that much more powerful and warm. Okay? So try this out. When you get to the end of your arrangement and you're like in the coda section, if you're writing a hymn arrangement, maybe there's 3 verses, and at the very end of the 3rd verse, you want a little tagline or kind of like an 8-bar ending that's a little like moral of the story sort of a thing, which is what we call a coda, which means tail in Italian, the tail end. That's a really great place to use this chord resolution, 5-7-4 to 4. All right. Use that. It's going to help you. It's going to give you some extra juice, extra emotional goodness in your music. If you want more tips like this, head over to latterdaymusiversity.com and grab the 10 commandments of what I call warm, fuzzy church music. It's a 24-page report that I put together. It's yours for free. Hope you enjoy it. When you do sign up, you're going to start getting daily tips from me to help you continue to sharpen your skills in writing great LDS church music. All right, we'll see you back tomorrow where we're going to look at the second song in the Primary Children's Songbook. See you then.